There's a moment in every person's life when everything changes. It's not some grand revelation. It's not an event that happens in front of a crowd. It's that quiet, defining instant when you decide to change, when you decide to take control of your future. And that decision, it begins with one simple commitment. The commitment to grow. Imagine for a moment the world around you, the noise, the distractions, the pressure. Everyone telling you who you should be, what you should want, what you should do. Every decision, every step, guided by what's expected. But here's the truth. None of that matters until you choose to grow. Growth is not some abstract concept reserved for a select few. It's a power within you, a power that only becomes real when you decide to activate it. There's a reason why some people succeed and others don't. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's growth. The moment they chose growth, the moment they made that commitment, everything changed. But growth doesn't come easy. It's a battle. It's a fight with your own comfort, your own fears, and your own limitations. Growth requires sacrifice. The moment you decide to grow, you're telling yourself that you're willing to leave behind the familiar, the comfortable, and the safe. You're telling yourself that no matter the challenge, no matter how hard it gets, you're ready. And this is where most people fall short. They want to grow, but they're not ready to pay the price. They're waiting for the right moment, for the perfect conditions. But here's the cold, hard truth. The right moment doesn't exist. Perfect conditions are a myth. Growth begins now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel more confident. Now, because when you choose to grow, you step into your power. You take control. Growth is not something that happens to you, it's something you choose. And once you make that choice, you unlock the ability to change your life. Think of the greatest individuals who have walked this earth. They were not born with success handed to them. They committed to growth. Every single one of them faced obstacles. Every single one of them was told it couldn't be done. But they kept going. They didn't stop. They chose growth, and in doing so, they changed the world. Now, let's get one thing straight. Growth is not always comfortable. It's not about feeling good. It's about breaking through the walls you've built around yourself. The walls that say, I can't. The walls that keep you from stepping into your potential. Growth is a process. It's a journey, and it doesn't happen overnight. But every day you commit to it, every day you take action, you get one step closer to the person you're meant to be. But don't be fooled. It's not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about action. It's about pushing forward even when it's hard. It's about stepping into discomfort, knowing that on the other side is the life you've always wanted. Action is the catalyst that transforms dreams into reality. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you took action despite your doubts? When was the last time you moved forward without knowing exactly where you were going, but trusted that you'd figure it out along the way? That is the power of growth. Most people wait. They wait for the stars to align. They wait for the perfect moment to take that first step. But the truth is, the stars will never align. The perfect moment will never come. The only thing that separates those who succeed from those who fail is their ability to take action, even when they don't feel ready. Think of all the people who have achieved greatness. People like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Oprah Winfrey. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created it. They took bold actions, even when they didn't have all the answers. And in doing so, they changed the course of history. So, here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to commit to growth? Are you ready to take that first step, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable? Because the moment you decide to grow, you step into your power. You take control of your destiny, and everything changes. Because when you grow, you become unstoppable. You stop being a passenger in your own life, and you start driving it. Every decision you make, every action you take, builds momentum. And momentum is everything. The moment you start moving, the world starts moving with you. Opportunities open up. The path becomes clear, and success. It stops being a distant dream and becomes an inevitable reality. But here's where it gets tough. Most people stop when it gets hard. They hit a roadblock, they face failure, and they quit. They let their emotions take over, and they give up. But growth is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who can push through the pain, the doubts, the setbacks. It's for those who can rise, no matter how many times they fall. Think about the greatest successes in history. None of them were handed to anyone. Every person who achieved greatness faced failure. They faced rejection. They faced criticism. But they didn't quit. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't let anyone's doubt or negativity stop them. They kept moving. They kept growing. And here's the secret. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning. Every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. Every setback is a stepping stone to success. But the only way to turn failure into success is by refusing to quit. It's about resilience. It's about mindset. Growth doesn't happen when everything goes right. It happens when things go wrong, and you keep going anyway. Think about the resilience required to get back up after a setback. Think about the strength it takes to move forward when everyone else is telling you to give up. That's the power of growth. It's the ability to keep going, no matter the circumstances. And once you develop that power, nothing and no one can stop you. Growth is not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become. When you commit to growth, you're not just building a future, you're building a person who is capable of achieving anything, a person who is unstoppable, a person who refuses to settle for mediocrity, a person who understands that success is not something you chase, it's something you become. And that's the most powerful realization of all. Success doesn't just happen to you, it's a result of who you decide to be. The person you are today may not be the person you need to be tomorrow, but if you commit to growth, you will become that person. So as you step into this journey, ask yourself, are you ready to become the person you were always meant to be? Because success begins the moment you commit to growth. The moment you commit to growth, everything shifts. You stop waiting, you stop overthinking, you stop letting the fear of failure hold you back. You take the first step, even when you're unsure, even when the path isn't clear, because that first step is the most important one. It's the one that propels you forward. But here's the truth. The first step will never be easy. It will be uncomfortable. You'll question yourself. You'll doubt your ability to succeed. That's normal. That's part of the journey. But it's also the moment when you need to dig deep and find the courage to keep going. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act despite it. The key is to take that first step, no matter how uncertain you feel. Once you do, the world will begin to shift. Action creates clarity. When you start moving, the path will become clearer. Opportunities will begin to show up. And most importantly, you will begin to see yourself differently. You will realize that you are capable of far more than you ever thought possible. The person who took that first step is not the same person who started the journey. You will evolve. You will grow. But the key is to stay committed. Success is not built in a day. It's built through consistent daily effort. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. The successful people you admire, they didn't get there by waiting for the perfect time. They didn't get there by working hard for a few weeks or a few months. They got there because they were relentless. Relentless is a word that comes up again and again when we talk about success. The people who succeed are not the ones who are the most talented, the most gifted, or the most fortunate. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who push through when everything inside them is screaming to give up. They are the ones who understand that success is not an event, it's a process, and that process is made up of small, consistent actions over time. Every day you have a choice. You can either take action toward your dreams, or you can let life dictate your path. The choice is yours. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the decisions you make today. Decide to move forward. Decide to take action. But let's get clear on something. It's not about perfect action, it's about consistent action. Perfection is an illusion. No one has it all figured out. No one knows exactly what will happen tomorrow. But successful people know one thing. They can control their actions today. You might not have the whole picture. You might not have all the answers. But as long as you take the next step, as long as you keep moving, the picture will come into focus. And that's the power of consistent action. The more you move, the clearer the path becomes. Think of it like driving a car. When you're on a dark road with no streetlights, you can't see the entire journey ahead. But if you keep moving forward, the headlights will illuminate the next section of the road. And that's how growth works. You don't need to see the whole road, you just need to keep moving. The truth is, life is never going to hand you the perfect conditions. It's never going to be easy. But here's the secret. Nothing worthwhile ever is. The road to success is not meant to be easy. If it were, everyone would be on it. But the fact that it's hard is the very reason why you have to commit to it. It's the reason why success is reserved for those who are willing to put in the work, to face the challenges head on, and to keep going when the world tries to knock them down. And don't think for a second that you won't be tested. You will be. You will face setbacks. You will face failure. You will face rejection. But each time you face a challenge and rise above it, you get stronger. Each time you push through your limits, you expand your potential. And eventually, the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable will become stepping stones. They will no longer hold you back. They will propel you forward. There's a reason why success is so often attributed to those who have failed the most. Think about Thomas Edison. The man who invented the light bulb failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. But he didn't let failure stop him. He didn't let rejection or setbacks define him. He kept going. And eventually, the world recognized his name as synonymous with success. The same goes for Steve Jobs. He was fired from the very company he founded, but he didn't give up. He returned stronger, with a vision that would change the world. He saw setbacks as opportunities, and he kept moving forward. He kept growing, and the world took notice. This is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not that they never face obstacles. It's that they never quit, they never stop growing, they never stop pushing forward. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to be perfect to do this, you just need to keep going. So, if you've been waiting for the right moment, for the perfect conditions, stop waiting. The perfect moment is now. The time to grow is now. The time to take action is now. The only thing standing between you and your future success is the decision you make today. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to build the life you've always dreamed of, it all starts with one decision. The decision to commit to growth. The decision to take action, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like the world is against you. Because when you commit to growth, you step into your power, and nothing can stop you. The moment you commit to growth, you unlock a version of yourself that was always there, waiting to be discovered. You tap into a deeper reservoir of strength, resilience, and potential that you've been holding back. Growth isn't just a process, it's a transformation, and this transformation happens in the smallest of moments. The moments when you push past your fear, your doubts, and your hesitation. It happens when you choose to act, even when everything inside you says to stay still. Let's be real for a moment. Growth isn't easy. It's not about moving from one achievement to the next without any obstacles. It's about facing adversity, feeling the weight of challenge, and choosing to rise above it. Every successful person you've ever admired faced pain, rejection, failure, and doubt. They didn't get to the top because they had fewer obstacles. They got there because they had the perseverance to keep going when the road got tough. Think of the iconic stories of people like Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team, or Oprah Winfrey, who was told she was unfit for television. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey, and if you're not ready to fail, you're not ready for the success that comes with growth. Because the truth is, failure teaches you more than success ever will. But here is the secret. Failure doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond to failure. Do you stay down, or do you get back up? Do you let one setback stop you, or do you let it fuel your next move? Success is built on resilience, and resilience is built on failure. Every time you face a setback, a failure, or a rejection, you have a choice to let it break you, or to let it build you. The successful are those who choose to be built. They understand that success is not a linear path. It's full of ups and downs, but with every down, they rise higher, stronger, and more determined. Let's take a moment to talk about what success really means. Success is not a destination. It's not a place you arrive at one day and then just stop. Success is a continuous journey, and if you're committed to growth, you'll find that success isn't something you chase. It's something that follows you. When you consistently show up, when you work day in and day out, success becomes a byproduct of your effort. The key to success is not just hard work. It's smart work combined with the relentless commitment to growth. It's about being strategic in your actions, constantly reevaluating your path, and making adjustments as you go. Growth doesn't happen by doing the same thing over and over. It happens by looking at the results, learning from them, and evolving. Growth requires adaptability. This adaptability is essential because the world is constantly changing. The path to success that worked yesterday might not work tomorrow, and that's okay. You have the ability to evolve with it. You have the power to pivot when necessary, but only if you are committed to growing, learning, and adapting. The ones who fail are the ones who resist change, who get stuck in old patterns, and who refuse to evolve. When you commit to growth, you commit to adaptability. You commit to learning from every experience, every mistake, and every triumph. The world is constantly evolving, and so must you. The key to sustained success is not avoiding change, it's embracing it and thriving in it. Now, think about your current situation. Are you adapting? Are you learning and evolving in response to the challenges you face? If not, why not? Because when you choose growth, you choose to embrace change with open arms. You choose to learn, to improve, and to move forward, no matter what. Here's the part where you need to get brutally honest with yourself. How long are you going to wait before you commit to growth? How long are you going to allow fear, doubt, and procrastination to keep you stuck? Every moment you waste waiting for the perfect time is a moment you'll never get back. You have the power to change your life today. You have the power to choose growth right now, but you have to decide. You have to choose to step into discomfort. You have to choose to confront your fears. You have to choose to face every obstacle with the mindset that it's not stopping you. It's preparing you for something bigger. Success starts with the decision to grow, and then it continues with the relentless commitment to act, learn, adapt, and evolve. You will face challenges. You will fail. But failure is not a permanent condition. It's a lesson on the road to success. Remember, the only way to fail for good is to stop trying. If you keep going, if you keep growing, you will succeed. Success is inevitable for those who refuse to quit, who refuse to let fear control them, and who choose to take consistent action toward their goals. Now is the time. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now choose to step into the growth that is waiting for you. Choose to take action even when you don't feel ready. Choose to grow. Because when you do, everything will change. So I ask you again, are you ready to commit to growth? Because once you make that decision, once you decide that you will not be stopped, nothing can hold you back. Success will be yours. Not because it's easy, but because you chose to embrace the struggle, the challenge, and the growth. And when you look back, you'll realize that the moment you chose growth was the moment everything changed. Now that you've committed to growth, you've taken the first step. But understand this, the real work begins now. You're not just going to wake up one day and suddenly be successful. You're not going to stumble upon greatness by accident. What comes next is the hard part, the relentless, unyielding pursuit of who you are becoming. Because here's the thing. Growth is a continuous journey. You will have moments where it feels like you're not progressing, where you're not seeing the results you want, and where doubt creeps in. But it's in those moments that your true character is forged. It's when you feel like giving up, when you feel like the road is too hard to continue, that you must push harder. And it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter, working with purpose. Purpose gives your work meaning. It gives you direction when the road ahead seems foggy, when obstacles loom large, and when motivation feels distant. Purpose is the fuel that drives persistence. It's the reason you get out of bed every morning when the world would rather you stay asleep. It's the reason you keep pushing forward when the odds are stacked against you. Without purpose, growth becomes a slog. It becomes an exhausting, never-ending grind. But when you have purpose, growth becomes the most powerful force in your life. Every day is another opportunity to become more aligned with your vision. Every obstacle is another chance to sharpen your skills, expand your mindset, and build your resilience. And purpose doesn't just come from vague ideals or dreams. Purpose comes from clarity. You need to know what you're working toward. You need to define exactly what success looks like for you. Success isn't one size fits all. It's personal. It's yours to define, and it's yours to claim. So take a moment and ask yourself, what is your vision? What do you truly want? Not what you think you should want. Not what society tells you to want. What do you want deep in your soul? That's where your purpose lies. And once you've defined your purpose, the work begins. You have to show up every day. You have to do the work, even when it's tough, even when you're tired, even when no one is watching. Success is built on discipline, the ability to show up consistently and do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Think about the most successful people in history. People like Kobe Bryant, Michael Phelps, and Elon Musk. They didn't get to where they are because they were naturally gifted. They got there because of relentless discipline. They put in the work when no one was looking. They showed up every single day even when they didn't feel like it. They didn't wait for motivation. They didn't wait for inspiration to strike. They acted. Discipline is the cornerstone of growth. It's the reason some people succeed while others fall short. It's not about talent or luck. It's about showing up. The moment you decide to show up, to commit to the work, you are already ahead of 90% of the people who are waiting for the right time to act. But discipline isn't just about doing the same thing every day. It's about doing the right things every day. It's about focusing on what truly matters. It's about eliminating distractions and committing your time and energy to the actions that will move you forward. Every moment you waste is a moment you'll never get back. And the hardest part isn't taking the first step. It's taking the next step. It's staying the course when the initial excitement wears off. That's where most people fail. They start strong, they get excited, but when the novelty wears off, they quit. But you're not like most people. You are committed. You have a vision. You have purpose. And that will carry you when motivation fades. Because, here's the truth. Motivation is temporary. It's fleeting. It's something that comes and goes. But discipline is permanent. It's what keeps you moving even when motivation is gone. When you rely on motivation alone, you're setting yourself up for failure. But when you rely on discipline, when you commit to taking action every day, no matter how you feel, success becomes inevitable. This is where your true power lies. In your ability to do the work when it's hard, when you're tired, when you're discouraged. That's where growth happens. Growth happens in the struggle. It happens when you're pushing against resistance. It happens when you don't quit, when you refuse to let the challenges stop you. The next step in your journey is adaptability. The road to success is never a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and detours. And those who succeed are not the ones who never face obstacles. They are the ones who can adapt, who can pivot, who can keep going even when the original plan doesn't work out. When you commit to growth, you're committing to the idea that you'll evolve. You'll learn from every failure. You'll adapt to every setback. The most successful people aren't those who follow the same path forever. They're the ones who are willing to adjust their course as they go. They are willing to learn and grow along the way. This is where true resilience is built. Resilience is the ability to bounce back stronger after every setback. It's about looking at failure and saying, "That's not the end. That's just a part of the process. I will find another way." It's the ability to get knocked down and get back up, stronger and more determined than ever. Resilience is what separates the winners from the quitters. But resilience doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from embracing it. It comes from understanding that failure is just part of the journey, part of the process of becoming the person you need to be. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And through every challenge, through every setback, you'll learn something valuable. You'll learn what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, you'll learn about yourself. You'll learn how far you can push yourself. You'll learn how strong you truly are. So, the question is, are you ready to commit to growth, no matter what? Are you ready to do the work, face the challenges, and never back down? Because once you make that commitment, once you decide to grow no matter what, success is inevitable. As you continue on your journey, it's important to remember one crucial truth. Growth is not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the person who can achieve them. It's about evolving into a version of yourself that is capable of handling the responsibilities, the challenges, and the victories that come with success. The person you are today will not be the person who reaches your dreams. Think about that for a second. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to become someone extraordinary. Success is not given to those who wait. Success is earned by those who decide, day after day, that they will not settle for less than their best, that they will not settle for mediocrity, that they will continue to learn, grow, and push their limits until they achieve everything they're capable of. And this, becoming the person who is capable of success, is where most people fall short. They focus too much on the outcome, the money, the fame, the recognition, and not enough on the process. They chase after the reward without first understanding that the reward follows who they become. To achieve success, you must first master yourself. Success is not about acquiring more things. It's about acquiring the traits, the mindset, and the habits that make those things inevitable. If you want financial freedom, you have to think like someone who creates wealth. If you want to lead others, you have to behave like a leader, confident, disciplined, and clear in your vision. Success doesn't happen in the future. It happens in the present, through the decisions you make right now. Look at all the great figures throughout history. They didn't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They didn't wait for permission. They stepped up and claimed their future because they decided who they were going to become. Take Steve Jobs. He didn't wait for the tech industry to be ready for innovation. He stepped into the unknown, knowing that the world needed something better. He committed to growth, not just for his company, but for himself. And when he did that, the world changed. Think about someone like Elon Musk. The man who started multiple revolutionary companies didn't sit back and wait for things to happen. He became the person who could make those things happen. And because of that, he didn't just achieve success. He created a new reality. You too can create your reality. But it doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen without sacrifice. It happens because you decide to take action, even when it's difficult. The process of growth is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about stepping into it and learning how to navigate it. Because discomfort is where growth happens. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you stretch yourself. Every time you push through fear, you build your confidence. And every time you decide to grow, you break through the limits you once thought were impossible. Growth is not a linear path. You won't always feel like you're moving forward. But if you keep going, if you keep taking action even when the path is unclear, you will look back and realize just how far you've come. So, here's the question. Are you willing to take responsibility for your future? Are you ready to stop waiting for things to change and start making those changes yourself? Because it's all in your hands. You have the power to shape your future. Now, let's talk about clarity, because success doesn't happen without it. Clarity is the secret weapon of those who succeed. When you know exactly what you want, when your goals are clear and defined, everything else becomes easier. You stop wasting time on distractions. You stop getting caught up in the noise. You start moving with purpose, with intention. Clarity is the path that leads you to your goals. Without clarity, you'll feel lost. You'll feel like you're drifting. Like you're working hard but not getting anywhere. You might even feel like you're working for the sake of working, but achieving nothing. But when you get clear on what you want, when you set precise, actionable goals, the path becomes obvious. And it's not just about having goals, it's about having goals that are connected to your purpose. Your goals should ignite your passion, not just be some arbitrary target. They should push you beyond what you thought was possible. They should be so big that they scare you a little. That's how you know they're the right goals. When you feel that fear and excitement combine, that's where the magic happens. That's where growth happens. Think about it. The greatest achievers in history didn't have vague, half-hearted goals. They had clear, unwavering goals that were tied to their core values and their vision for the future. And that's what set them apart. They didn't let distractions or setbacks take them off course. They stayed true to their goals. So I ask you again, what is your vision? What is it that you truly want to achieve? Not what others think you should want, but what your soul desires. That vision is the key to your growth. Once you have that clarity, once you know exactly where you're headed, every step you take will move you closer to it. And the more you align your actions with that vision, the more momentum you'll build. Momentum is everything. Momentum is what separates the dreamers from the doers. When you start making progress, even small steps, you build confidence, and with confidence, your momentum increases. The more you do, the more you feel like doing. Momentum carries you forward, even on the days when you don't feel motivated. But momentum only comes through action. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop looking for excuses. It's time to start building your momentum. Every single day, take one step toward your goals, no matter how small, because the more you move, the more you'll see the results, and the more you'll believe that success is inevitable. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about creating those conditions through consistent action. And that action, it starts today. As you take that first step and commit to the journey, there's one thing you must never forget: the power of your mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, and it will determine whether you succeed or fall short. Everything begins with your mind. The greatest achievers in history all had one thing in common: they mastered their mindset. They learned how to think like winners. It wasn't just their actions that set them apart. It was the way they saw themselves and the world around them. Their thoughts, their beliefs, their inner dialogue were all aligned with their goals. They believed they could do it long before anyone else did. So, what about you? What's your mindset? Are you looking at challenges and seeing obstacles? Or are you looking at challenges and seeing opportunities? Because the way you perceive the world will directly influence the way you act in it. If you see failure as something to be avoided, you'll never take risks. You'll never stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. You'll stay stuck in mediocrity, chasing the idea of safety, of predictability. But real growth, real success, happens outside of your comfort zone. It happens when you're willing to take risks, to fail, and to keep going anyway. Let me tell you something. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every successful person has failed, repeatedly. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful people keep going. They learn from their failures, they grow from their mistakes, and they get better with every setback. Think about someone like Thomas Edison. He failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Do you think he gave up after his first failure? He saw every failure as a lesson, and through each failure, his belief in his own vision grew stronger. That's the power of mindset. When you believe in your vision, when you believe in your ability to learn and improve, you will keep going, even when things get tough. So what do you believe about yourself? Do you believe that you can achieve your dreams, no matter how impossible they may seem? You must develop an unwavering belief in yourself. This belief doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. It comes from knowing that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. But here's the thing. Belief is not something you just have. It's something you build, and you build it through action. Every time you take a step toward your goal, every time you overcome a challenge, you reinforce your belief in yourself. Action builds belief. So the question is, are you ready to believe in yourself? Are you ready to stop doubting your abilities and start believing in the incredible potential you have? Because when you believe in yourself, the world starts to believe in you too. Now, let's talk about clarity for a moment. Because clarity is the compass that guides you through the fog of uncertainty. Without clarity, you're just drifting. You're working hard, but you don't know exactly where you're headed. Clarity gives you direction. You've got to be clear about what you want. And I don't mean just vague ideas like, I want to be successful, or I want to be rich. I mean clear, specific goals that ignite your passion and focus your energy. What does success look like for you? What does it feel like to live the life you've always dreamed of? Get specific. The more detailed your vision, the more real it becomes. Clarity turns dreams into reality. The clearer your goals, the more motivated you'll be to achieve them. The more specific your actions, the more results you'll see. But clarity isn't just about having a clear vision for your goals. It's about making sure your actions align with that vision every single day. You can have the most beautiful vision in the world, but if your actions don't reflect that vision, then you're just dreaming. Your actions must match your ambition. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's what keeps you focused when the world around you is distracting you. It's what pushes you to work when no one's watching, to stay consistent even when motivation is low, and to never give up, no matter how hard it gets. Discipline is the key to long-term success. You need to be disciplined in your approach. You need to be committed to your goals and take action every single day, no matter what. Success is not the result of a few bursts of energy. It's the result of consistent effort over time. Small, deliberate actions, repeated day after day, compound into extraordinary results. And that's where adaptability comes in. Adaptability is your ability to adjust to the changing circumstances and keep moving forward. Life will throw curveballs. You'll face setbacks. Things won't always go according to plan. But successful people don't let setbacks stop them. They adapt. They adjust their approach, learn from their mistakes, and keep going. The key is not to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. The key is to learn from every experience and find ways to adapt, to grow, to evolve. That's how you build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks stronger than ever before. It's about not letting challenges define you. It's about growing through adversity, not just surviving it. So, how do you develop resilience? It starts with embracing discomfort. The more you challenge yourself, the stronger you become. The more you push past your limits, the more resilient you grow. Resilience is built through adversity. It's built through those moments when you feel like giving up, but you keep going anyway. And here's the truth about resilience. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. But every time you face a challenge, every time you rise above it, you get stronger. And the stronger you become, the more unstoppable you become. So, let's ask the question again. Are you committed to your growth? Are you ready to embrace the discomfort, to face the challenges, to step into your fear, and to keep moving forward? Because when you commit to growth, nothing can stop you. You've committed to growth. You've decided to rise above fear and push past the obstacles. But here's the next level, the power of action. Action is where everything comes together. It's the bridge between your vision and your reality. Without action, your dreams remain just that, dreams. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack the right plan or the right vision. They fail because they never take consistent action toward their goals. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the right conditions. But guess what? That perfect moment doesn't exist. The right conditions are created through action. The successful aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who move. They take steps every single day, even when they don't have all the answers. They build momentum, one action at a time, and over time that momentum becomes unstoppable. Action isn't just about big, life-changing moves. It's about the small, everyday steps you take. Each decision, no matter how small, adds to the foundation you're building. It's the consistency that counts. It's about taking that step even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when the world is telling you to stop. That's when growth truly happens. Think about the story of a sculptor. A sculptor doesn't create a masterpiece by chiseling away at a stone just once. No, they chip away at it day after day. Small movements, repeated over time, gradually reveal the final form. Success works the same way. It's not about one big dramatic change. It's about consistent, daily effort that adds up to something extraordinary. But here's the catch. The moment you stop taking action, the momentum slows down. It doesn't matter if you've been moving forward for a year or a decade. If you take a break, if you rest on your laurels, you lose momentum. Action is your greatest tool. It's how you create opportunities. It's how you turn your vision into reality. The more action you take, the more doors open, the more you learn, and the more confident you become in your ability to succeed. Success is not for those who sit and wait. It's for those who get up every day and take action, no matter what. Now, let's talk about something that holds many people back, the fear of failure. The truth is, failure is not the enemy. It's part of the process. If you are not failing, you are not trying. If you are not failing, you are not pushing yourself hard enough. Failure isn't something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace. Each failure is a lesson. Each mistake is a stepping stone on your path to success. The most successful people in the world have failed repeatedly. But the key is they don't let failure define them. They learn from it, adjust, and keep going. Think of J.K. Rowling, the woman who created the Harry Potter universe. Before her books became a global phenomenon, she was rejected by 12 publishers. Do you think she let those rejections stop her? Absolutely not. She kept going. She believed in herself even when the world didn't. And because of that belief, because she kept taking action despite the failure, she created a legacy. You have the same power, the same ability to push past fear, past doubt, past rejection. Failure doesn't define you. Your ability to keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing does. The more you fail, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you get. The better you get, the closer you get to success. Now, let's take a step back. Think about the people who seem to attract success without effort. People who seem to have everything fall into place. You know the ones with the perfect job, the perfect family, the perfect life. But here is the truth. Success doesn't just fall into anyone's lap. Those people have built a mindset that attracts success. They have become the kind of person who naturally draws opportunities and achievements toward them. And here's the powerful secret. You can do the same. The energy you put out into the world is what you get back. If you walk into a room like you belong, with confidence, purpose, and the belief that you're worthy of success, people will take notice. You don't need to chase success. It will chase you when you embody the person who deserves it. So, how do you become that person? How do you become the one who attracts success? It starts with your mindset. It starts with believing that you are capable, believing that you deserve success, believing that your vision is valid. When you believe that, the world around you shifts. Success becomes a byproduct of who you are, not what you seek. But here's the thing. This doesn't happen overnight. It happens day by day. It happens when you wake up and choose to believe in your vision. It happens when you choose to show up and take action, even when the world tells you it's impossible. It happens when you commit to growth, every single day, no matter what. The reality is this. The world is full of people who wait. They wait for the perfect time, the right opportunity, the right moment. But the truth is, there's no such thing as the perfect time. There is only now. Right now, you have everything you need to take the next step. Right now, you have everything you need to move forward. And the moment you decide to move, the world moves with you. So let me ask you, what's holding you back? What's stopping you from committing fully to your growth? Because the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to start, the decision to act, the decision to believe in yourself and in your vision. And the moment you make that decision, the moment you commit to growth, everything will change. Now that you've committed to taking action, to growing, to stepping into your power, the next step is consistency. You've taken the first step, you've felt that spark of motivation, and now you must ensure that it doesn't flicker out. Success is not about short bursts of intensity. It's about long-term consistency. Imagine you're building a house. You don't build it in one day. You lay one brick at a time. You don't get discouraged because the house isn't finished after the first brick. You just keep going. Every single day, you lay another brick. That's what consistency looks like. It's the act of showing up, of doing the work, even when the results aren't immediately visible. And here's the most important part. Results take time, but consistency will always win. The person who shows up every day, who works even when they don't see immediate results, is the person who eventually reaches the summit. The person who keeps pushing forward, step by step, is the one who will look back one day and see how far they've come. But consistency doesn't just mean going through the motions. It means giving your best every day. It means focusing on quality, not just quantity. It means not just doing the work, but doing the work with purpose, passion, and intensity. The key is to make your actions matter. When you commit to consistency, you're also committing to the level of effort you put into every action, no matter how small it seems at the time. Let's talk about progress for a moment. Many people think of success as a straight path. You set a goal, you work hard, and you immediately start climbing. But that's not the reality of success. The path to success is winding, and it's rarely linear. You will face setbacks. You will feel like you're not moving forward. You will hit moments where you wonder if it's all worth it. But in those moments, the key is to keep going. Success isn't about never failing. It's about learning how to bounce back every time you do. The more you bounce back, the more resilient you become, and the more momentum you build. Your resilience will be your greatest asset. Think of a rubber band. When you stretch it, it might feel uncomfortable, even painful. But the more you stretch it, the more you can stretch it without breaking. That's how growth works. The more you push yourself, the more you expand your capacity. Each setback, each challenge, builds your resilience and makes you stronger. And in turn, the more you can handle and the more you can grow. But there's a crucial point to understand about growth. You are the sum of your habits. Every single habit you cultivate, whether good or bad, shapes who you are. Habits are the invisible forces that guide your actions, and your actions are what lead you to success. If you want success, you have to start by cultivating the habits of successful people. Success doesn't happen without habits. The successful don't just get lucky. They've developed the right habits. They've trained themselves to think, act, and work in ways that align with their goals. They've developed routines that set them up for success every single day. It's not about magic. It's about repetition. It's about doing the right things over and over again, even when you don't feel like it. Now, let's get real for a moment. You will have days where you want to quit. You will have days when the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders. You'll have days where you question if it's all worth it. But here's the thing. Those are the days that matter most. It's in those moments of doubt, those moments when everything seems impossible, that the true growth happens. Growth happens when you push through, when you don't quit, when you choose to rise, even when it's hard. And when you make the decision to rise, no matter how many times you've fallen, you begin to change. Your mind changes, your habits change, your actions change, and that is what ultimately leads to success. When you push through adversity, you develop a new level of confidence in yourself. You begin to understand that there is nothing that can break you. No obstacle is too big. No challenge is too tough, because you know that you are stronger than any circumstance. And once you realize that, once you know in your core that you will not be stopped, you unlock a level of power that is unstoppable. But it's not just about mental toughness. It's about being emotionally resilient as well. You have to master your emotions, especially when times get tough. Emotions are powerful. They can either propel you toward success or hold you back. And only those who master their emotions will truly thrive. Successful people are not immune to stress, fear, or anxiety. They feel all of those things, but they don't let those feelings control them. They acknowledge them, feel them, and then move forward anyway. That's the key. Mastering your emotions means being able to separate your feelings from your actions. It means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The most successful people are the ones who are willing to face their emotions head on and still move forward. They don't let fear paralyze them. They acknowledge it, learn from it, and use it as fuel to keep going. You have to make the decision that no matter what, you will not be defeated by your feelings. You will not let fear dictate your decisions. You will not let stress control your actions. You will keep moving forward no matter how hard it gets. So, here's the question for you. Will you rise to the challenge? Will you make the decision, right now, to push past your fears and become the person who doesn't let anything stop them? Because that's what growth requires. It requires that you push through the obstacles, face the discomfort, and keep moving forward, no matter what. As you continue to rise to the challenge, there's something deeper you must understand. Success is not just about achieving goals, it's about the person you become along the way. Success is a byproduct of your character. It's a reflection of who you are, how you think, and how you carry yourself. It's not the external accomplishments that matter most. It's the internal growth. If you want to be truly successful, you need to ask yourself, who do I need to become to achieve what I desire? Because success is a result of becoming the person capable of achieving it. It's about cultivating the mindset, habits, and traits that will serve you in the long term. Look around. The most successful people aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones with the most drive. They're the ones who show up every day, who keep going when everyone else quits. They are the ones who push through their comfort zones, stretch their limits, and don't let anything stop them. Success is the sum of consistent, disciplined effort, day in and day out. This requires a deep commitment to self-mastery. It's about learning how to be in control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your reactions. Your ability to master yourself is the key to everything. When you're in control of your mindset, you can navigate any challenge, any setback, and any failure without losing your way. But here's the truth. Self-mastery doesn't come easy. It requires constant effort. It requires you to confront your weaknesses, your fears, and your doubts head on. It requires you to break old habits that no longer serve you and replace them with habits that align with your goals. Self-mastery means taking responsibility for every aspect of your life. It means recognizing that you are the only one who can shape your future. Every time you wake up, you are presented with a choice. Will you choose to control your thoughts, or will you let your emotions control you? Will you choose to focus on your goals, or will you let distractions pull you away? Will you take action, or will you hesitate? Mastery comes when you realize you control your actions, and in turn, you control your results. It's not about relying on external circumstances to determine your success. It's about knowing that you hold the power to shape your destiny, one decision at a time. But self-mastery isn't just about mind control, it's also about emotional control. There will be days when you're overwhelmed, when doubt creeps in, when fear takes over. And in those moments, emotional control becomes your superpower. It's about acknowledging those emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. It's about moving forward even when fear is screaming at you to stop. This is where resilience plays a critical role. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from failure. It's about pushing through discomfort. It's about knowing that every challenge is a chance to grow, and every setback is a lesson in disguise. Resilience is about staying in the fight long after others have given up. It's about refusing to quit when things get tough. Think of a tree growing through a storm. The wind howls, the rain falls in torrents, yet the tree stands tall. It's not the storm that makes the tree strong, it's the way it bends and adapts. The more it faces adversity, the deeper its roots grow, and the stronger it becomes. This is the power of resilience. Each obstacle, each failure, and each challenge strengthens you. Resilience comes from the belief that no matter what, you will rise. It's the unshakable belief that you can handle whatever life throws at you. And when you cultivate this belief, nothing can break you. When you become resilient, every failure becomes a stepping stone toward success. But here's the truth. Resilience also requires patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. You will face setbacks, you will feel defeated, and you will want to quit. But every time you rise, you grow stronger. Every time you push through adversity, you expand your capacity to succeed. That's the beautiful thing about growth. It's cumulative. The more you challenge yourself, the more you grow. The more you face adversity, the more resilient you become. And as your resilience builds, your success becomes inevitable. You no longer see challenges as obstacles. You see them as opportunities to stretch, to evolve, and to get one step closer to your dreams. And through all of this, there's one other crucial element you must embrace: gratitude. Gratitude is often overlooked when it comes to success, but it's one of the most powerful forces that fuel growth. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you that no matter how tough the journey gets, there is always something to be thankful for. When you practice gratitude, you change the way you see the world. You stop focusing on what you lack, and you start focusing on what you have. You begin to realize that every setback, every failure, every difficult moment has taught you something invaluable. Gratitude turns challenges into opportunities and failures into lessons. It's easy to get caught up in the chase for more, to always look for the next big thing. But success isn't just about getting. It's about appreciating what you have along the way. Gratitude brings clarity. It keeps you grounded and reminds you of the bigger picture. When you appreciate where you are, even in the struggle, you become a magnet for more success. In fact, gratitude and growth go hand in hand. When you're grateful, you attract more things to be grateful for. When you focus on what's going right, instead of what's going wrong, you start to create a cycle of abundance. The more grateful you are, the more opportunities you see. Now, let's talk about learning. Because growth is not just about pushing forward without reflection. Growth requires constant learning. The world around you is constantly evolving, and so must you. You must be a student of life. You must be willing to seek knowledge, to learn from those who have walked the path before you, and to continually improve. The moment you stop learning, you start stagnating. There is no plateau in success. Either you're moving forward, or you're falling behind. The most successful people are always learning, always looking for ways to improve. They read, they seek mentorship, they analyze their results, and they constantly strive to get better. And here's the thing about learning. It never stops. Even when you think you've mastered something, there is always more to learn. The greatest minds in history didn't stop learning. They kept pushing the boundaries of their knowledge. So ask yourself, how can you become a lifelong learner? What books will you read? What courses will you take? What mentors will you seek? Commit to learning, and success will follow. Because growth, success, and fulfillment are not destinations. They are journeys. And it all starts with your commitment to growth. As we approach the final phase of this journey, there's one final element of success that we cannot overlook: the power of vision. Vision is the driving force behind everything you do. Without vision, you're like a ship without a rudder. You may go somewhere, but it will be aimless, uncertain, and without direction. Vision gives you focus. It gives you clarity on where you're headed and why it matters. Your vision is the destination you're working toward. It's what drives you through the hard times, and it's what keeps you going when the road seems uncertain. Without vision, your efforts are scattered. But with a clear vision, you have a purpose, a goal, and a reason to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. Think about the greatest achievers in history, the ones who left an indelible mark on the world. They didn't just happen to succeed. They had a vision that was bigger than themselves. Their vision fueled them through every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt. They were unwavering because their vision was clearer than any obstacle in their way. So ask yourself, what is your vision? What is the ultimate goal that drives you? What do you want your life to look like in 5, 10, or 20 years? What legacy do you want to leave? It's essential to have a clear vision because it provides you with the motivation to keep going. It's your guiding star. It gives you the courage to step outside your comfort zone and take risks. Vision pulls you toward your future, even when the present feels overwhelming. But vision alone is not enough. You must pair your vision with action. Without action, vision is just a dream. It's only when you act on your vision that it becomes a reality. Action turns vision into results. This is where many people falter. They may have a grand vision, but they don't take consistent, deliberate action toward it. They get distracted, they lose momentum, or they let fear hold them back. The truth is, action is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. To bring your vision to life, you need to take bold, consistent steps in the right direction. Each action you take brings you closer to your vision. Even if the progress feels slow, even if the steps seem small, remember that every action compounds, little by little, piece by piece. You are building the foundation for your future. And when the inevitable challenges arise, when you encounter setbacks, failures, or roadblocks, you must remind yourself of your vision. Your vision will pull you through those moments. It will remind you that everything you're doing now is part of a bigger picture, part of something meaningful. It's not about what you're facing today. It's about where you're going tomorrow. This is why vision must be anchored in a deep sense of purpose. Your purpose is the fuel that sustains your vision. It's why you get out of bed every day. It's why you put in the effort, even when the going gets tough. When you have purpose, your vision becomes unstoppable. But purpose also requires you to connect with something bigger than yourself. You need to ask yourself, why do I want to achieve this goal? What's the deeper reason behind it? Is it to create a positive impact? Is it to improve your life or the lives of others? Is it about growth and development? Your purpose will give your vision depth and meaning. When your vision is aligned with a powerful purpose, it becomes impossible to ignore. It becomes something that wakes you up in the morning, something that keeps you going when things get hard. Purpose is the emotional anchor that holds your vision in place. Now, let's discuss the importance of being adaptable. While vision and purpose are vital, we must also recognize that life doesn't always unfold exactly as we plan. The road to success is rarely straight. There will be unexpected detours, changes, and unforeseen circumstances that force you to adjust your approach. But here's the key. Adaptability is not about abandoning your vision. It's about being flexible in how you get there. Your ultimate goal may not change, but the path to that goal might. The most successful people are those who can adapt to changing circumstances without losing sight of their vision. Adaptability requires resilience, creativity, and a willingness to learn. When things don't go as planned, it's an opportunity to evaluate, reflect, and adjust. It's about finding alternative ways to reach your goal when the original route is blocked. Adaptability turns challenges into opportunities. It helps you stay on course, even when the journey gets bumpy. This is why you must be prepared to pivot. You must be willing to change your approach, but not your destination. If something isn't working, don't be afraid to try a new method. Keep refining, keep improving, and keep learning. The only constant is your commitment to your vision, not necessarily the way you get there. In the end, success is about perseverance. It's about never giving up, no matter how many times you fall. It's about understanding that the road to greatness is not a sprint. It's a marathon. You are in control of your journey. Every step you take, every lesson you learn, every challenge you face, it all contributes to your growth. Success is a process, not a destination. The most successful people aren't those who never fail. They're the ones who keep going after each failure. They understand that every setback is a setup for a comeback. So as you move forward, remember this. Your future is in your hands. Your vision is the map, and your actions are the vehicle that will get you to your destination. Don't let anything or anyone stop you from chasing your dreams. You are stronger than you think, and you are capable of achieving more than you ever imagined. It's time to take action. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness.